Welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Tradesharpe, and this is a highly requested video. This is a video about my LTA strategy. So LTAs is a huge part of my trading. I've made a video about it before, but I want to make a new video, add more information and talk to you guys about it because it's a constant question I get. What is LTAs? LTAs are the ultimate trading zones. When people ask me, what was your aha moment in trading? I think it was the LTA because this really clarified my trading, gave me a clear guideline of where I need to be looking to take trades. And I hope it will give you the same type of thing and really help excel your trading journey because it definitely did for me and gives me a lot of clarity in the chart. It's very logical based and makes a lot of sense because the hardest thing is, okay, where do I take trades? What resistance do I have to consider? Is price going to reject here? Is it going to bounce from it? That's too much. So when you're able to identify the LTA, which stands for low traffic area, and do it properly, it will drastically increase your ability to find the zones where you need to be looking for trades, which is extremely important. So that is exactly why I'm making this video. I hope you guys will benefit from the video, and yeah, let's get straight into it, get onto the charts and discuss exactly what are LTAs, why they're important, how to identify correct ones. So definitely stick to the end of the video so that you can benefit from that, and hope you enjoy. So that being said, let's get onto the charts. Alright guys, before we start, as always, can we please do the YouTube business? You guys know the drill. Leaving a like, leaving a comment, I do appreciate it. And I do read all the comments, so support the channel. And if you do like the content, leave a subscribe so you can benefit from future content, join our live streams and etc. Now, all of my official links are down below. Links to the free groups, links to everything is down below. Anything else is not associated with me. All my official links are down below. So you can check that out, join the free group, have a look at everything down below and follow me on Instagram. So with that being said, turn around and let's go have a look at the charts. All right guys, so the LTA stands for low traffic area. It's a term that I think was thrown out on the internet a while back. I mean, there's many variations to this. The smart money traders call it kind of like a fair value gap. That's the similar thing here. I just know it as clean candle zones. You can name it whatever you want to name it. It's just a term in price action that we use to trade price action, and it's just something that's logically makes sense, and that's why people use it. There's nothing fancy behind it, but there is ways you have to use it, and there is considerations and special techniques to make sure that you're using them correctly. So the name is pretty self-explanatory. Low traffic area, clean candle zones. It's basically where we don't have support and resistance between one zone and another. It's basically clean candles. Now LTAs, you can call them in the Tradesharpe clan lobster trading areas, if you know, right? But no, you can name it whatever you want to name it, but the name is self-explanatory. So this would be an LTA here, right? So these are all bearish candles back to back here, and the reason why this is an LTA is because we have all clean candles here. So if you look at this, right, you will see that there's nothing stopping price in this zone. Why? Because this candle opened and closed, this candle opened, closed, this candle opened and closed, and did not create what? A support or a resistance. A resistance is created when a bullish candle followed by what? A bearish candle closure is formed. That creates a resistance. So if we had a resistance in here, for example, if we had a bullish candle here like this, and then we had bearish candles continuing down, that would create a resistance here, and this would be an area where price could react. So essentially that would invalidate the LTA here, right? So these are basics about LTA. But if we have clean candle zones, what we expect is that a bearish LTA will allow us in the future to buy up to that zone, because what we expect in the future is that if price was able to move down easily in that zone, the next time when we're looking for buys, it should be able to move up easily through that zone, right? So of course we'll look at chart examples, so stay around. But the whole idea is that, look, now that we have clean candles here, if we have an opportunity to buy, there shouldn't be any issues of candles moving through this zone. Because why? Because in the past it was able to move through it smoothly, so we can expect a smooth move in the future. Now we may get a pullback in between this zone here, right? And that is totally fine. We may get, in the future, when the new zone is forming, we may get something like this. We may get a candle pullback, and then this one continues, something like this, boom, right? But that's fine. The zone is still filled. It's still continuing the LTA. Now, if we're coming back in the future for sells now, right? Because now this is a bullish LTA, right? We understand that actually our only clean trading zone is going to be from here to here. because that is where our next resistance is. Now, of course, marking here or here, getting accurate with your support and resistance, I recommend, that is something that you need to practice. I have my free course, which you can, start to understand how to mark those zones. But essentially, this is now your trading zone from here to here if you're looking for sells, because this is clean. And then your next trading zone is going to be from here to here because this is clean. This is considered a support, right? Because we had a bullish candle followed by a bearish candle, created a resistance, or we have a bearish candle followed by a bullish candle, created a support. So this is not going to be a clean LTA right here, but from here and down here, these are both clean zones, which is where you can profit off, because price was able to move cleanly here and price was able to move cleanly here. So LTAs can be multiple candles, they can be single candles, as long as the trading range is enough. And for me, the way that I trade, I need at least, like a 10 pip range for it to be worth it. 8-10 pip range. I'm not really closing trades at 8 to 10 pips, depending on the scenario. I would say 10 pips is the bare minimum. I'm closing based on structure, of course, but anything below 8 pips, I'm probably just making that a break-even trade due to my stop loss being generally more than 8 pips. It wouldn't be worth it. So always check how big your zones are. Use the measurement tool on TradingView. Measure if your zone makes sense to take a trade in, right? So measure that. It can be multiple candles, single candles, it does not matter. Now, the important thing is, okay, why is a resistance a problem? Why can't we just trade past? Like, how come here price just pushed past and still was valid to take a trade, or still, price just pushed past here, no problems? Now, the reason how resistances work, right? Resistances work like this. What they are is basically, if we want to get technical, we're just using, past information to present in the future. The same resistance here was a problem in the future here. We can see we never closed above. This was a very tough area to trade because it was a resistance. We can either reject or push through. Same thing here, reject or push through. These 3 times, it decided to reject. But look what we have here, guys. Look what we have here. This is going to be what? This is going to be your LTA right here. That's your clean zone. Why? Because look, there's clean candles. 1, 2 clean candles. There's no resistance in these candles. We're always using most recent information, right? So if there's no basically, things stopping us from moving price, we should expect in the future, if we can get above this zone, ta-da, candle getting above this zone, we can replicate this move and get a clean move through. And then where do you think we're next gonna stop? At the resistance. Where do we stop? At the resistance. Scroll back. Now let's have a look. What do we have here? Oh, another clean zone. Where's our clean zone here? Right? Look at this. This is your clean zone. All here, clean candles, right? Let's go here. What happens? We reject at the resistance. When we get above, guess where it stops? Draw a line. Look where it stops. At the next resistance. So why does price like to stop at resistance, right? And that's how we trade zone to zone. These clean candles are our trading zones, and then we target next resistance. Trading zone, target next resistance. Look, this is your trading zone, target next resistance. And you trade zone by zone using those clean candles as areas to take trades. But why does it stop? Now, on the technical side, these are basically resistances are created by profit taking. They're created by orders being opened at that certain zone, and when we drive away from those zones, when we come back to the zones, those orders can be generally filled, or we can just have general profit taking from algos at that. So that's the technical thing, but that's not going to affect your trading. Does not matter, right? Because if trend is bullish and everything's pointing up, resistances will be broken and supports will be respected. So we expect those resistances to be broken. So trying to sell at the resistance is not a strategy. I know what you're thinking about. Don't focus on that. Instead, think of the market as range to range and focus on using the clean candles as your trading zone. So the similar thing for sells. If you were looking for sells, this is not an area to sell right here, right? This is not a good place to sell. This is messy. This is extremely messy. At any point here, price could reject like it's been doing here. Okay, in this scenario, you didn't get a chance to enter, but your trading zone would be this. Look at the difference in here. All rejections, 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 rejections. You can see by the wicks, but when we get through to this zone, it's a straight shot. Why? We have clean candles, and that's your trading zone. That's your LTA. That's where you want to be looking for trades. Now, it's not as simple as that. You find an LTA, you take a trade. That's what people think. No. this is only a small part of the trading strategy. It is a huge part. I would say it's one of the most important parts, but it's not everything. It's a small part. And the reason I'm saying it's a small part, because you need to have bias. You need to know what direction you're looking for on that certain day. I have videos for all of this. You need to know the entry setups and requirements in those zones. Those are the LTAs are just the zones where you're looking for trades. Within those zones, you need to make sure that it's following the direction of the bias and the session bias. We have London session, New York session. What is the bias for that session? Is it buys, is it sells? If it's mixed, where are you looking for that? There's videos on my channel. You can see the session bias videos. I have a free indicator as well to help you with session bias. If you go on my channel, here we go. This is the mixed session bias. This is the normal session biases here. And then the entry setups, I also have videos on my channel. So check out my channel, full of good tools here. But you need to apply everything together. And most important is marking your correct resistances, right? You have to mark your zones correctly, because people will miss out on certain zones. You will mark this from the bottom here, or you'll mark this from the top, where the bottom is more important. Like, there's different things, and you see you'll miss out on something like that. So there's many different things that are super important when it comes to marking your zones and being able to take trades within LTAs. The other thing I'll say about LTAs is that when we have a news candle, when a candle is caused by news, which is like this, right? This type of news candles here, they don't typically count as a real LTA. That's a little bit more advanced. I might need to make a separate video about news candles and LTAs, but this is something more situational. Like, when you have a news candle, you can technically use it as an LTA, but it depends on what price is doing in terms of price action at the point. Because if price action is bullish and you've had a bearish candle, you can understand that price should continue bullish, so I can just rely on structure and use as watch. So that maybe requires a second video. If you do want to see that, let me know in the comments. That is something more that you need to discuss in depth. And yeah, that is where, so LTAs are super important here, and that's why I'm making this video for you guys. And yeah, this is something that I always cover, finding the right zones. Whenever we have members in the exclusive, when they're sending their charts in, the most common thing I see is that they are taking the trades in the right LTAs, but their markup might be slightly off as to expecting, the biggest beginner mistake I see when someone joins the group and they're like taking a trade is that they'll see a big LTA and they'll target the whole LTA, even though it might be 100, 200 pips. That it won't happen in one candle, guys. Markets go up, pull back, go up, pull back. So don't expect a push in a one candle move, right? You have to expect pullbacks and stuff, and look to target relevant smaller time frame targets. And the last thing I'll cover on this, and this is where I get, what time frame can you use LTAs on? What time frame do you need the LTAs on, right? This is a huge point, right? And those who stuck to the video will get this information. Those who clicked off early are not going to get this. So it doesn't matter what time frame, whatever time frame you use to enter the trades based on your rules. So my trades most are taking on 15. I need an LTA on the 15. So whatever time frame you take the trade is the time frame you need an LTA on, right? So understand that that's super important. And then once you start identifying these zones, it's just about getting feedback, right? Getting feedback on your trades, getting feedback on, okay, was this a correct thing? Was I looking at the right thing? Because again, remember, LTAs are just one part, a big part. But yeah, I hope you guys can add this towards your trading. Hope it does help, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. With that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very soon. Peace.